Okay, this video is entitled Let's Fake It, and it's just a really quick overview of a rule that I wanted to discuss with you. I'm not going to be technically learning anything new in this one, just a little bit of advice. You'll notice I have the first picture that I drew for you in 1-point perspective with my horizon line and my perfect little vanishing point and all my lines going towards it. I've sort of sketched it out a little bit looser now and taken out some of that hard, perfectly straight-edged line effect in it. And that's for two reasons. One is just a style choice. You don't want everything to be just antiseptic, perfect, straight, clean lines all the time unless you're going for that as a style choice. If you're in some scary science lab or government facility, then that sort of really, having all the perfect lines converging can sell it as a scary sort of eerie sort of area, but not necessarily if you just want a nice friendly hallway in somebody's house. And that's partly because humans don't see perspective exactly the way we've described it. In a perfect world, if we all lived on a very flat planet, all these mathematics and geometry and everything, when you looked into the distance, everything would converge on a very specific, similar point. But we don't live on a flat Earth. We live on a round Earth. If that's news to you, you should stop this video and maybe go watch some other more important videos. But we live like that. We have atmospheric distortion because of the air. When we take pictures of things with cameras, even the best cameras have some sort of distortion. I'd like to show you a little picture I have up here. This is an image that I clipped from a magazine. You see it's a nice example of perfect 1-point perspective. It's got the lines going all the way down like this, all the way up like this, down. Everything is leading down to 1 point of perspective. That's right around this area right here. Every line in the back, all of them. And yet, when I put it on a light box and actually trace those lines for you, you can see that they don't all go to the very same spot. They sort of get in a general area of it, but they don't go perfectly. That's because nothing is ever truly perfect in this world, and never is that more true than with perspective. So it's important not to get too hung up on having everything be just right, because oftentimes when things are just right, they look just a little bit wrong to our eyes. There is such a thing as too technically accurate. So it's okay if you have a door and you say, well, technically my line should be going perfectly right to this, but I kind of like it better like this. It looks a little bit more natural to me. I don't know why. Go with that feeling. It's okay. If it looks a little odd to you to have it just absolutely perfect, it might look a little odd to your readers. Or to your fans or whoever follows your art if you're not a comic book artist. But it's okay to go ahead and just sort of fudge it a little bit. And when you do a giant, 3-point perspective, or when you have many little buildings right here and you go in and you start adding lots and lots and lots of buildings in the background, don't drive yourself crazy going to every single one and referencing every one of those and oh my god, it's got to be just perfect. Every one of these has to be just perfect, because you're going to lose the forest for the trees. It's all right. At a certain point when things recede in the distance, they start to make less sense. They start to get a little wiggly and a little bit odd. That's fine. That's atmospheric distortion. Humans can't see all the way to the end of the horizon. If we could, we'd be freaking amazing. But also, we just can't because there's too much atmosphere in the way. Things get a little distorted in the background once you get too far away. And that's okay. Don't drive yourself mad spending 20 hours trying to get a picture just right and thinking that everybody's going to, wag their finger at that one building that's not just right. As a matter of fact, let me tell you right now, the most important thing in being a comic artist is learning how to budget your time and meet your goals and meet your deadlines, your publishing deadlines to be specific. Every convention I've ever done, every workshop I've ever done where people have asked, what's the best thing I can do to be a great artist? Well, meet your deadlines. I don't care how you have to meet them. I don't care if you have to stay away for 3 days straight like I've done before. Meet your deadlines. Everything else is You know, it is talent, it is hard work, it is all that, and you know, and having a vision. But more than anything, publishers want you to meet your deadlines. And so, if you have to really sell it on the front buildings right here, and then just kind of maybe sell it not quite so much in the back, maybe freehand a bunch of these little buildings, and you know, and just sort of give it a lick and promise, that is fine. And in fact, in some cases, especially if you're on a deadline, that is encouraged. So I just wanted to maybe ease your woes after you were sort of possibly wigging out after those last set of lessons, thinking about all these specific rules that you have to remember about perspective. It's okay. It's all right. Comic books are fun. They are silly sometimes. You know, you can have all sorts of strange buildings that lean over and, you know, and crowd the scene and don't work just the way that buildings usually do. That's perfectly okay, as long as I'm in the building somewhere. Yay!